Justin Baldoni dropped a bombshell on Blake Lively this morning, and he's dragging her husband Ryan Reynolds down with her, suing them both for $400 million. $400 million is a lot of money, and it looks like he's taking down Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist Leslie Sloan.
Have you ever seen a lawsuit so big it makes your jaw drop? Well, get ready, because actor and director Justin Baldoni is demanding a whopping $400 million from Blake Lively. And that's not all. He's also dragging her husband, Ryan Reynolds, into the chaos. It's a mind-blowing turn of events that has Hollywood buzzing with questions. How did they get here? Why is the number so huge? And will it change everything for the movie they're promoting? In this video, I'm taking you through every explosive detail of Justin's claims, Blake's response, and the messy back and forth that has fans picking sides. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. Justin Baldoni is known for his roles in front of the camera and behind it. He's often involved in movies that tackle deeper emotional topics. Blake Lively, a star with a massive following, teamed up with Justin to work on a film about domestic violence. Initially, it sounded like a powerful combination: a talented cast, a serious storyline, and a chance to spark meaningful conversations. But somewhere along the line, things took a drastic turn. According to the legal documents Justin just filed, tensions have been brewing since way back in May 2023, when filming first began. For those of us watching from the outside, we had no idea. All we saw were occasional photos and announcements about a new movie. Little did we know that under the surface, a huge wave of conflict was building. The end result? A $400 million lawsuit, allegations of defamation, invasion of privacy, and even claims of civil extortion. So, how did this lawsuit explode to such an eye-popping figure? Justin Baldoni is accusing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist, Leslie Sloan, of multiple wrongdoings. He's not holding back. The lawsuit mentions civil extortion, defamation, false light, invasion of privacy, breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing, and a handful of other serious accusations.
Now you guys may be wondering, why does Justin feel like this is an ambush? I mean, I would understand, he's in their environment, they are a powerful couple. It really takes it up a notch when Taylor Swift is involved, because we all know, for whatever reason, Blake and Taylor Swift are very close friends. Which does make me question, like, what's going on with Taylor Swift, because nobody likes Blake right now.
It's like a legal tornado, sucking everyone in. But where does this all come from? One part of Justin's claim is that Blake is promoting alcohol brands and focusing on her hair products, while still trying to push a film about domestic violence. In his eyes, it's disrespectful to the topic they're meant to address. She's apparently determined to paint him as the villain of her story. Whether or not that's true is up for the courts to decide, but Justin says it all started on set when Blake reportedly wasn't feeling too confident about the movie's promotional tour. From Justin's point of view, Blake Lively was never fully on board with his creative vision. He says she was struggling with the public side of promoting the film. Even more, he suggests she was unhappy with how people reacted to her hair color and wardrobe choices, which is a big deal if you're playing a character in a serious story. Justin believes that around May 2023, Blake was plotting to wrestle creative control away from him, so she could shape the film and her image on her own terms. But how does Ryan Reynolds fit into all this? Well, Justin claims Ryan was a key supporter of Blake's attempts to change the script. There was a critical rooftop scene in the movie that Blake rewrote. Apparently, they all met at Blake and Ryan's penthouse to discuss it. Justin says it felt less like a friendly chat and more like a strategic ambush, especially when Taylor Swift unexpectedly joined in.
I think that they are absolutely entitled to that opinion, and it makes perfect sense as to why they would feel that way. I mean, look, we live in a culture where, unfortunately, too many things are glorified. And, we are fighting for attention.
Praising Blake's rewrite. Now, Taylor Swift didn't write this movie, and she's definitely not being sued. Yet, her presence is mentioned in Justin's legal documents. Why is that? Because in Justin's view, having Taylor support Blake's rewrite was a powerful statement. It was like receiving a stamp of approval from one of the biggest pop stars in the world. Justin interpreted this moment as a signal. Go with Blake's vision, or risk facing the wrath of her influential circle. There's even a text message that Justin included in the filing, where Blake apparently compares herself to a Game of Thrones character, who has dragons at her command. Justin believes these dragons are Blake's high-profile friends, like Taylor, who can back her up and provide a huge boost to any narrative she decides to push. The real clash started over that rooftop scene. In Blake's version, the main characters have a very different meeting from what Justin originally envisioned. Because Justin first acquired the rights to the story, he felt he understood the material deeply. He says Blake, on the other hand, hadn't even read the book. She was Googling her character's hair color instead of reading. This difference in preparation caused major creative friction. At the penthouse, Ryan allegedly sang praises of Blake's rewrite, while Taylor Swift, who popped in, also seemed excited about it.
We're in an attention economy, and we're in a clickbait world, and everybody is trying to, figure out how to gather attention. Look at the news cycle; it's everywhere around us, and so it makes perfect sense that people would feel that way.
Justin recounts feeling outnumbered. Instead of a neutral discussion about creative direction, he claims it became a moment where he either had to accept the changes or stand alone. He eventually gave in on a lot of points, but this only laid the groundwork for bigger problems. Remember when we thought the rooftop scene was the main conflict? Turns out it was just the beginning. After filming ended, Justin says Blake insisted on having her own version of the film. Sony, the distributor, decided to let them both create competing cuts. The test screenings favored Justin's version, especially with key demographic groups. But Blake allegedly wasn't satisfied. She pushed for her cut to be released, and eventually, Sony relented. In Hollywood, it's unusual for an actor, who isn't the officially credited director, to win that level of control. Justin's frustration seems to stem from the idea that Blake overstepped the role she was hired to do, seizing the final say in how the film looks. He believes her star power, combined with Ryan's influence, allowed her to do just that. The story doesn't end with the film's release. According to Justin, Blake's team, led by publicist Leslie Sloan, worked overtime to paint him as the problem.
Also, if anybody has had that real-life experience, I can imagine how hard it would be to imagine their experience being in a romance novel. To them, I would just offer that that we were very intentional in the making of this movie.
He claims there was an orchestrated effort to have all the cast and crew unfollow him on social media, making him look like he'd been shunned. He also says they manipulated personal text messages and emails to create a narrative that put Blake in a positive light, and Justin in the worst light possible. This is where things get incredibly messy. Justin insists that some of the harshest accusations, such as harassment, came from altered or misrepresented communications. Meanwhile, Blake's side claims they faced a lot of hate mail and even anti-Semitic slurs. These are serious issues that go way beyond a simple filmmaking disagreement. It's clear both sides feel they've been unfairly targeted. Just when you think the situation couldn't get any worse, Justin reveals he was served with Blake's legal papers during a massive wildfire in California. He suggests that while people were scrambling for safety and worrying about evacuation orders, Blake used that moment to hit him with the lawsuit. From Justin's perspective, it was a cold move that made an already tense situation even more painful. Blake's team sees it differently. They say it's devastating that they have to keep this legal fight going in the middle of a natural disaster. Emotions are running high on all sides, and it's clear nobody likes how this is unfolding.
So I'm kind of trying to catch up with the reality of it, and I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful, that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. That's what I'm grateful for.
And you had a key part in bringing it to the big screen.
Reactions across the internet have been fierce. Some people call this the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard situation of 2025, while others say it's a complete embarrassment for both parties. Many fans feel the movie is doomed, overshadowed by these headline-making lawsuits. Others say that everyone is at fault, or that maybe Justin should just move on. Meanwhile, some folks believe Blake Lively overstepped by trying to run the show when she was hired just to star in it. The question on everyone's mind: how will this end? Will Justin's evidence convince the court? Will Blake or Ryan respond directly, or will they settle behind closed doors? Is there any chance this film can recoup its costs when so much bad press surrounds it? We're left with more questions than answers, which might be exactly why people can't stop talking about it. Now I want to hear what you think. Whose side are you on? Team Justin, Team Blake, or Team Enough Already? Are you shocked by the $400 million figure, or do you think it's just a legal strategy? And what does this mean for other Hollywood projects where actors and directors clash? Let me know down in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. Before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.